I Am Legend, or I Am a Legend, as it was misreferred to
I'm
by
John
you
Legend, yes.
on more than one occasion. Latest bash at the Richard Matheson story, which has been done twice before. There's the 1960s version with Vincent Price, which is Last Man on Earth, and there's the Omega Man with Charlton Heston in 1971, which is the version that everyone remembers, the version that everyone's seen. Apparently, there was a version in development at Hammer, but it was stopped at script stage on the grounds that the censor said that it was going to be too gory and they couldn't do it. So the new version now has Will Smith as the last uninfected survivor in New York, which has been overrun by a hideous virus which turns everybody into zombie-like creatures. After, at the beginning, and this is one of the reasons to be quite interested in this film, is at the very beginning of the movie, Emma Thompson cures cancer. In a pre-credit sequence, Emma Thompson cures all cancer. And then the title sequence happens, and then it moves on to some years later, and everything's gone really badly wrong. Anyway, here's a clip.
My name is Robert Neville. I'm a survivor living in New York City. I am broadcasting on all AM frequencies. I will be at the South Street Seaport every day at midday when the sun is highest in the sky. If you are out there, if anyone is out there, I can provide food, I can provide shelter, I can provide security. If there's anybody out there, anybody, please, you are not alone.
And that's how we feel sometimes broadcasting from here at the home of Radio 5, broadcasting on every frequency. And if there's anyone out there, bear in mind you're not alone. Why are you looking at me quizzically?
I've just got lots of information coming in at the moment.
Okay, fine. So you're not listening, you're listening to your headphones, but you're just staring at me. And again, that's another reason why we've become an old couple, because you don't listen. When I'm talking, you're actually hearing voices from somewhere else.
I'm listening to you.
It's so distracting.
I don't need to listen to you anymore. I know what you're going to say.
Okay, fine. So I'll just talk to the nation while you listen to something else, okay? The new version suffers from a number of things. Firstly, the latest version.
Classic FM's very good at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah.
Great. Firstly, it suffers from being post 28 days and indeed post 28 weeks later, because that had fast zombies in it, and this basically has fast zombies in it that look like they and again, like that, they're not zombies, they're infected, but they are to all intents and purposes zombies. So problem number one. And that, I think, does it more harm than the comparison with the Charlton Heston one. Number two, it is very hard to make a film with a guy wandering around being lonely interesting. I mean, if you look at Silent Running, the Doug Trumbull movie with Bruce Dern, he does it brilliantly, and here they don't pull it off. There is some interest in Will Smith's isolation, and he ends up talking to mannequins, to shop mannequins and that sort of thing, and becoming deranged, but it's genuinely not that interesting after a while. Third thing is, it doesn't help that Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds is still in living memory, and pretty much did that post-apocalyptic scenario in a way which was, I think, more inventive, more breathtaking, more specifically related to recent news events. In a way, I mean, I think that was one of his best recent films.
So does Emma Thompson die before the title?
She's just at the title credit, that's it. She just cures cancer, that's it. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm very happy about any movie in which Emma Thompson turns up and cures cancer, that's fine with me. And the third thing is, and this is the main problem, is that they have tried to crowbar Bob Marley into it. That, well, Bob Marley once recorded a record called Legend, right? Okay, so, hey, in the Can I See the Meeting, you know, let's get Bob Marley in. So there's a bit in which Will Smith, who's a Bob Marley fan, in his character, says, you know, the thing is that Bob Marley, because he's trying to look for a cure, he's trying to develop an inoculation against the thing that turns you into the post-28 weeks later zombie, right? And he says, the thing is, Bob Marley had this theory that you could inject people with goodness and music and inoculate them against evil. And that's kind of what I'm doing as the last survivor on Earth, the man who's trying to develop an inoculation against... You think, no, 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 no. Pass me that huge crowbar that I may not attempt to ram this. It's not going to work. It's I Am Legend. It is not a Bob Marley thing. It is, no matter how hard you try to...
So how many Bob Marley tracks do you get?
Well, you get, you know... You get sort of Bob Marley in the background quite a lot, but it's more the guff about it. I mean, it's more the sort of, it's the speechifying, it's the version that really is, you know, down with the music in a way that the Chuck Heston version wouldn't be. Because Chuck Heston, of course, you know, if he'd done it, he would have said, yeah, there was a guy called Bing Crosby, and he used to believe in a white Christmas, but he also carried an axe, and he also produced, you know, very tough, hard-hitting. You know, it'd be different, okay? It doesn't work in the updated version. So, all in all, you think there are admirable intentions. I mean, obviously from Will Smith's point of view, because he had such a big hit with Independence Day, and he did I, Robot, didn't he? I, Robot.
I got it. I laughed the first time.
Oh, just not the second or third. I didn't know whether you were listening. That's all. I wondered whether you were getting voices from beyond. Okay.
I'm tuned in.
So clearly he has, he has a taste for this sort of thing, and he wants this to be the next in those sequence of films, and it sorely isn't. At the end of it, when it finishes, although it doesn't completely wimp out on the grimness of the ending, you do feel like you've been there for a long time. You watch somebody wander around in a room, not do very much, and then it all stopped. And you do really wonder whether you needed to have a remake of this. But, again, in comparison with St. Trinian's, it's really wonderfully put together and honest and is what it is.
Interesting point here with reference to last week. Mark, doesn't Alvin and the Chipmunks directly contradict your All of Animals talking to humans?
Yeah, it does, except, here's the thing, not all animals can talk to humans, and they clear that up at the beginning. At the very beginning, he actually says, what, you're talking? He says, yes. He says, do all animals speak? And they say, well. So at least they address the issue, but thank you for bringing it up. You are completely correct.
But hey, just before we sign off for another year, Merry Christmas, Mark.
Merry Christmas, Simon.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks for downloading.